And how did your working relationship with Chaneil and Luke begin?
Yeah, so kind of two very different stories, but
Right.
Chaneil came through casting. I think Chaneil read this. I don't want to speak on Chaneil's
Yeah.
behalf, but Chaneil read the script, and I think I don't know. He
Yeah, I thought the script was great. I mean, whenever I want to do a project, it's pretty much always down to great writing. I think that's the foundation for any good project. And I thought Ed's script was great.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but for people who don't know, how does that start? Like, you've come the idea, some woman falls on you, write a script, then what happens? Then you put it out, you speak to a casting agent, and then
yeah
they send it out to a bunch of actors, and then you
yeah
get feedback. Is that how it works?
that's pretty much
Right.
it. Yeah, I think like casting director is one of the first people that comes on board. They
Right.
tend to come on board around the same time as funding, so they're in the early stages. And yeah, they will pick out people that they think are good, and then they'll also do like a general call, and agents will pick those up if they have talent that's kind of suitable for that role.
Right.
And then talent, then I mean Chanel's got way more experience with this than me, but talent then self tape, and they have to do that from home now, so
And
that
that's part of the. So that you received it, then you have to film it
yeah
on your iPhone and tripod, send
yeah
it in,
yeah
send in like a reading or something.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah,
Right.
essentially. You do like a self tape, send it off, and then you guys, I guess, on the other
Yeah.
side, just watch the tapes, choose who you want to call back, and then through that, like, whether there's any more process of like elimination or different rounds, that's
Yeah.
up to you guys really, and how you guys want to cast your project,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, I think it was like we had like a long list, so that's what I will see, of like 60 people for the lead role, and then you call back probably about 8 to 10.
Right.
And yeah, it's really tough. Like, you feel for, because the quality of tapes was actually really, really high.
Right.
It was the first short I'd made with a casting director. I kind of thought I'd just be grateful if anyone did it.
How
And
long
then-
is
and then-
each audition tape? Not to be
so I
silly.
do quite long ones because I in this particular instance I wanted to hear about background, and I wanted to hear
Okay.
about life story, as well as reads for kind of two scenes. So
Right.
each one was probably about 6 or 7 minutes.
Okay.
And it's quite brutal on the other side, because you're watching like what determines the difference between a 10 and 11. Like sorry, the 10th person you're gonna audition, and the 11th person who's not going to get the audition. Like it gets really tricky, especially when you know how much time goes into it and they're putting a lot on the line. But yeah, Chanel stood out. And then like I think the sad thing about self tapes is like it's not till you see people in person that you really realise. And like Chanel in person was just like so incredible to watch. Like
Right.
held the room. And you just would never get that from a self tape. You can't.
Right.
You can't
yeah.
judge that.
No, you need to see them in person. Yeah.
Yeah, and
to
that's
feel
that's the hard
the
thing.
charisma. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of where our relationship started, and then we kind of have worked well since. We developed the role for Indra around Chanel and,
Right.
and his family background, so that he felt confident in the role, and I also felt like we were doing something that was.
So in the movie, is
authentic.
it Punjabi? Like
Yeah.
background.
I think it's the characters of a Punjabi
you
background.
speak some language.
Hindi, I think.
Hindi,
is what we
right?
speak, yeah. But that was, I think it was, although I can't speak Hindi and Punjabi are quite similar, but I think Gedda, who plays
Yeah.
my wife, was a Hindi speaker, so then we kind of just found like a mutual thing. And then plus, I think Hindi is the national language in India anyway, so
Right.
it's still authentic in that sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genna, who plays Sarusha, I'm not sure when she moved over, but she was born in New Delhi.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we had, like, she can speak it, and translated the phone calls. So I would just send her lines, and she would just come back with.
And
the
she's only
translation.
appears on the screen of the phone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But she has a really big presence
Yeah.
in the film.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she's there in the
Yeah.
background the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
And that was a really great process working with her as well, to shape that character. But But yeah, and then Luke is kind of a longer term story of we met at uni. I was making a no budget student feature film because I was overconfident and wrote something and thought I won't do a short film.
So you were at the same uni?
Yeah.
Right.
It was funny. It's funny. So I thought I was going for a job interview, and I turned up for it, and it was really official, and I didn't realise he was a fellow student at the time.
Wow.
So I sort of turned up, and I was like, "This is my big shot. This is going to be it." I applied to be a focus puller. If I literally like a camera operator on the whole thing. I met with Ed, and I was like, "Wow!" And then didn't realise that we were all doing this for the first time together. Right. And you realise the roles of it is a lot down to confidence, you know. And all of a sudden, I'm there with a focus wheel trying to figure the whole thing out. But we've worked together throughout the whole process, and then a couple more shorts, music videos after that, obviously Ryder, as a combo, and great to be developing scripts together and doing that as well, which has been fantastic.
That's the best way to do it though, start. You've got to start and actually do real projects.
Yeah.
And then that's how you learn.
A massive testament to Luke was that he came, we had 35 people on that student feature. And you know, we shot it over like 28 days, and they were grueling. Like filmmaking is actually quite hard, and it's not as exciting as it seems when you're actually in it. Like there's obviously fantastic moments, but a lot of it is downtime and
there's a lot of standing around.
Exactly.
And,
and Luke came along, and he was focus pulling, which is not like. It's not.
Is that a specific job?
Yeah.
So there's one guy that just
literally with the wheel, pulling focus, making sure that every shot's sharp. So if a camera's moving all over the place, or if it's on a rig, there's some guy there who's literally just training it to keep it in focus the whole time.
So it's not autofocus.
No, not on these kind of cinema lenses. So it's brutal.
But yeah, he did that, and I found that.
And then what happens if you get out of focus?
Oh,
like, where are they?
You get someone
it's all blurred.
It's soft.
But you know, he did that, and he became like a good kind of creative confidant, I suppose. Like, you know, we had a few days where our cinematographer was sick with food poisoning, and so he was off set, and Luke stepped up.
Wow.
And
upgrade.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you know,
who poisoned him? What was it?
Yeah, Luke did. He just dropped him.
This is a safe space, right?
And yeah, he kind of basically came on at the start as a focus puller, and by the end he was like marked as one of the producers because he was so essential.
Worked his way up quick.
Yeah,
that was good.
And we've been doing it ever since. And I think what was so exciting, I mean, doing a student feature is one of the best things you can do other than going to film school, but it is a difficult process because no one really knows how to make it work. You kind of got to fake it till you make it. The material, let's be honest, isn't always the best to be working with, but when you grow together and grow in that relationship, you build that kind of trust. And I feel like we're working on scripts now that are just so exciting to be a part of. So